And welcome in. You are watching On Deck with DeRo and Arch. I am Eric DeRosset along with Darren Archer. It's been a couple of weeks since we've been able to bring you a show. Day jobs have been busy, and then Darren's been a little under the weather a time or two. So it's good to be back with our viewers. Darren, good to see you.
Yeah, thank you. Good to be back, and I'm looking forward to talking some sports with you this evening. And like you said, we've been away for a few weeks. Day jobs are getting in the way this time of year, and
Yep,
um, glad to be back on air.
absolutely. Uh, Kind of the timing of this sort of makes this an unofficial Super Bowl edition. We're going to talk mostly NFL football. We've got a few other tidbits we're going to hit in the end, but without further ado, Seattle and New England coming up this Sunday. Uh, Intriguing matchup, I think, for me. And I actually heard some Chiefs fans actually say this. So it's not just me. There was a few Chiefs fans that I talked to that were actually looking forward to the Super Bowl because they didn't feel the pressure of like they have in a few years past, which is kind of an interesting comment. So, none of your traditional sort of powerhouses that we're used to seeing in the Super Bowl this year. So, I think it's got life. I like the matchup. I think, um, obviously people in Missouri probably aren't as locked in, but overall, I think it's a good draw for the NFL. Be interested to watch. I think you and I are talking before the show started. Seattle comes in favored at roughly 4.5 points. Obviously, that could change with injury reports and so on as the week progresses. But Super Bowl, what do you just give me some early thoughts on it before I give you a few specific questions?
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah,
Um, you've got some new blood in there, two new head coaches at their respective teams, and um, defense is kind of the name of the game, I think,
yeah,
on Sunday. Two very, if not the best, some top five best defenses in the NFL, and um, two quarterbacks that there's a lot of question marks on that have had very good years, respectively, and both are supported by good run games, good core of receivers. It should make for some interesting football. In the past, it's kind of been, hey, the first team to 40
yeah,
probably stands a pretty good chance of winning the game. And it was kind of a race to 40, 45 points.
right.
Whereas now I think, hey, if you can hang 21 at some point in time, or 27, 24 running there, mid to upper 20s, that may get you a Super Bowl ring.
Yeah. And your thoughts there kind of lead me to my first point here is, everything in professional sports, football, baseball, it doesn't matter. There are trends that when one team or two teams have success with this trend, everybody jumps on board. And so, this Super Bowl features two sort of quarterbacks that just are game managers for the most part. I mean, I think they're obviously capable of making plays and doing that when it's on the line. But, both these teams are going to try to play solid defense. They're going to try to run the ball a little bit. They're going to have possessions that eat up some clock. They're going to count on making some field goals. So my question becomes, hey, is this a new trend? Are we sort of moving on from, the Mahomes, Josh Allen sort of got to sling it all over the yard, and these quarterbacks have to put all the weight on their shoulders to win a game? Like, is this a new thing, or is this just happened to be this year?
I think time will tell. It's
Yeah,
obviously trending that way. Um, you take a look at the teams uh, that were in their respective championships to get to the Super Bowl. Um, Basically, all four teams had very, very stout defenses and really hung their hat on their defense. Obviously, there was some uh, very, very good individual play on the offensive side of the football. Running backs, wide receivers, quarterbacks. But I think the trend towards the defensive, um, I guess, building a juggernaut, so to speak.
Right.
We'll see if that continues to build on. It's going to be interesting to see how teams move forward with the success that both Seattle and New England have had. And I don't know. I think that question, it's a great question. I
Yeah.
think it will be answered in time, though.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to be answered from this year.
Mhm.
Um, is this a blip on the map, or is
Yeah.
this something that's going to, like you said, start trending that way? I think the answer will lie ahead in the future.
And I just thought of this, and we didn't reference this even off air, but even Indiana University, in their, in winning the national championship, that their quarterback is not a gunslinger. Like, he's a game
Right.
manager, and he makes timely plays and he makes big ones. And obviously, I'm not taking that away from him, but hey, they're gonna play defense and run right at you a little bit. And then when he needed to make a play or two, that's what they did. So even at that level, at least on the championship side, it seems to maybe be a trend.
Yeah,
And in fact, if Mendoza's the number one pick, which it stands to reason that he could be in that mix depending on the team's needs. That's what he's going to bring to an NFL equation.
sure.
He's just going to be the guy that's going to throw it 23 to 25 times and throw for a buck 85 and two touchdowns, and that's going to kind of be his mo. So uh, it I'm interested to see, and that takes me to my next point. Like, does and you and I have talked about maybe a Kansas City Chiefs revamp of sorts. I think every Chiefs fan would agree that some of that's needed to some degree. So, do they consider a system in which Mahomes becomes less of a factor and more of a game manager? Like, is that a possibility even in the Chiefs world?
I think it's possible anywhere, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
A lot's going to depend on how he returns from his injury. He may have to be a facilitator
yeah,
for a while until he becomes fully healthy. Um, it depends on the pieces that he has around him as well.
right.
One complaint that I heard from a lot of fans this year was they didn't utilize the run game when they probably should have, and
Yeah.
create that 4 yards in a cloud of dust,
Mhm.
and just matriculate the football down the field, so to speak.
Nice, nice.
But I don't know. I think that obviously the Chiefs hired Eric Bieniemy back.
Yeah,
I think they're going to try to rekindle some of that magic that they had. The first thing that the Chiefs are going to have to do is put a line in front of him. He spent more time running for his life than he did, um, making reads and progressions. So if you take a look back to the Chiefs' Super Bowl appearance last year,
mm,
their their defense was pretty dang solid. It was the offense that was the question mark and ended up getting them in the end. So I do. I think they're going to have to. There's a lot, as far as the Chiefs are concerned. There's a lot of areas that they're going to have to shore up. I think it all starts on the offensive line. Um, I think they've got to approach it with a balanced attack on offense, um, and obviously uh, keep the defense progressing, and sign a few guys in the offseason that can bolster both sides of the football.
yeah.
What are your thoughts? I mean, I know I spoke around that. I think it runs a little bit deeper than, hey, are you guys going to be gunslingers or not? There's a
Right.
lot of parts and
Yeah.
pieces that have to go together. Um, I don't know.
I
What are your thoughts?
I think, and again, you and I openly admit that we're not football guys. Like, that we're
Right.
not. We haven't been on sort of on the inside looking out on how teams are put together. Um, we do have some sports instincts, and we'd like to think, at least. I I do think in general, I think this is a trend. I think the NFL more than any other professional sports league is a copycat league. Um, when when one or two teams start running some wildcat stuff, everybody had some wildcat package, and now you don't see wildcat. I mean, very rarely. Um, so it was a thing, and then it was out, and it seemed like when it was out, it was really out. Um, I think I do think it's easier to find guys that will fit that system. Um, I don't think you have to be quite as spot on with your quarterback evaluation. Maybe if you're just going to get a game manager, and I don't want to say just a game manager because that takes a special guy on his
Sure.
own as
Right.
well. But
Right.
but I think there's a ton of pressure with teams drafting quarterbacks with the notion that hey, these guys got to throw for 325 yards or 350 and four touchdowns and gain possession after possession. I think that's a lot of pressure on the evaluative side for teams, and then it's also a lot of pressure for that guy to live up to those things. So I I think just out of I don't want to say necessity, but I think out of just sort of building a team that might have some staying power, game managers might be a trend. Um, the and you mentioned lines. I mean, offensive lines are always important and highly undervalued until they're not. I mean,
Right.
right? I mean, nobody cares about the offensive line until they do. I mean, that's that's
Yes.
that's how that goes. Um, but it is also you've got to have some dudes back there running the ball, right? You can't just have one guy because that
Right.
you're not going to hand it to Christian Okoye for 30 times a game or Earl Campbell or Joe Morris or fill in the blank, right? John Riggins, like you're not just going to hand it to him for 30 times a game. They just can't do that. And
Right.
so I think the pieces that come with that are, hey, you got to have a line, okay, that's built for that, and then you got to have some running backs, multifaceted running backs, several of them, and so now your packages become really run oriented and even your passing game becomes, hey, you've got a third down back and your tight end's got to be good. And not that those things aren't important in all systems. I just think those things are magnified. And I think where I'm going with that is I almost think it's easier to swing and miss on a running back and a tight end and replace that than it is to swing and miss on a quarterback and figure out what you're going to do. So trend wise, I think there's going to be more game managers. Drake May is he's awfully impressive, and hey, does Mendoza and guys like him. I mean, is that the same? Are we looking at the same guy essentially? And the answer is possibly. I mean,
Right.
if Mendoza is going to win in the NFL, I think we all agree he's going to have to win like Drake May wins.
Sure.
And so yeah, I think it's headed that way. The running back now becomes a little more featured, but it's not just one guy. So
Right.
and defensive football, you know, especially playoff time in the cold and those kind of things, super important. So I'm with you. We're a long ways from knowing the answer, but if I had to say, I think we're leaning that way.
Agreed.
Yeah, yeah. So be interesting to watch. The Super Bowl itself, love the matchup. Um, it's Seattle just not that long, a decade ago, or so, had some really, really good teams that had their own personality. Obviously, the Patriots are, almost 8, 10 years removed now from sort of their heyday, and they had their own personality. And both these versions, the Seahawks and the Patriots, are way different than those versions of 8, 10, 12 years ago. So
Yeah.
uh, NFL truly does stand for not for long, because
Right.
because those teams are completely different than what they were in the past. So intrigued by the matchup. Um, towards the end of the show, I'm going to put you on the spot and have you make your Super Bowl pick on
Okay.
who you have and kind of by how many points and so on. So
All right.
looking forward to that at the end. Um, Groundhog Day is upon us, which means for me, spring training is about 2 weeks away for pitchers and catchers and 3 weeks for about position players. You and I are baseball dudes. We
Yes.
love it. And it does not seem like that long ago that we were talking about the Dodgers and the Blue Jays and what an incredible series that was as it was. It is hard to believe that spring training is, I mean, we're on the cusp of spring training.
I love it. I
Yeah.
absolutely love it. I think pitchers and catchers report 2 weeks from now, approximately,
Yeah.
and then probably I think about 1 month from now, 3 weeks, 1 month from now, spring training games begin, and then obviously that leads up to opening day for everybody, and cannot wait.
Yeah. And I haven't looked for sure. You might be able to answer this. It seems like opening day is really early this year, if I'm not mistaken. So,
It is, and
uh,
the date escapes me. Um, but it can't get here quick enough. That's all I'm going to say.
yeah, yeah, love it, love it. You and I, you're a Cubs fan. I'm a Reds fan. We openly admit that. Um, both of those are in the NL Central. So another point that we're going to visit here later in the show is we're going to discuss and put you on the spot about the Cubs' chances for playoffs and for the Reds' chances chances for playoff, which indirectly affects the Cardinals. So if you're a Cardinals fan out there and you don't want to hear about the Cubs and the Reds, uh, you at least need to consider them because those three and the Brewers are fighting for the same territory. So we'll come back to that Reds Cub thing here in just a little bit. But spring training, it is on its way. Can't get here fast enough. Super excited about it. Uh, it and I waffle on everything. I think opening day baseball, that may just be the best thing in sports for me in terms of, starts to a new season. NBA, I love the NBA, but I can take or leave opening night in the NBA, college basketball, love it, same way. NFL season probably comes closer. There's such a few amount of games in the NFL season that you know, opening Sunday or Thursday night or whatever of NFL football is big. But for me personally, nothing better than opening day baseball.
I agree. Just the history and the pageantry that goes along with it, and the great thing is there's not just one opening day.
Right.
It's sprinkled throughout the first week or so of the season, and just to see the different ways that uh, some of these baseball teams approach their opening day with bringing back a lot of their Hall of Famers and fan favorites, things like that, and it becomes full circle. You kind of see all the history of a baseball team uh, during that opening day, and it's to me that's really neat. I mean, you think about opening day, you think about the Clydesdales in
Yeah.
St. Louis.
Yep.
It's just that that picture comes to mind, and in my book, I agree
Yeah.
with you. Nothing beats it.
Well, and this is kind of selfish on my part, but for years and years and years, the Reds always played the first opening game. Their game would start time wise and day wise before any other game
Yeah,
in the league. So that I think that's a little bit why the opening day stands out to me as well. So
you bet.
a couple of tidbits here I'm gonna hit on just before we kind of go to our hold 'em fold 'em sequence. Bo Jackson, speaking of baseball and NFL, a guy could do both and did it pretty well. Did it really well at Auburn as well. 35 years ago, in this past January, Bo Jackson played his last play in the NFL. Uh, hard to believe that 35 years has passed since Bo was running the ball, but His last play in the NFL was a 34-yard run, scamper. I think he went up the middle and then outside to the sideline and hurt his hip on that play. And I think effectively that ended his sports career, if I'm not mistaken.
Sports career, correct? Yeah, he had a lot of issues following that, and what seems more like 35 weeks ago than it does 35 years. We're-
Yeah,
You're aging us there, DeRo.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
I'm
What
just
a
glad I can. I'm just glad I can remember
well,
it.
yeah, and I mean, and hey, there's these conversations all the time about how would an athlete's talents from yesteryear would he trans into today's game, and we can split those hairs all we want. I don't know if Bo Jackson's game would transcend time or not, but the dude could play. I mean, let's just put that there. And I mean, for me, his most incredible talent is probably not what he's like his ability to throw the baseball from the
Holy
fence
cow!
to the home plate or like, I mean, legitimate cannon. And hey, back when ballparks were ballparks, I mean, a lot more spacious back then.
Exactly.
Hey, and that guy had a cannon. Uh,
Yes, he did.
he would throw you out. Uh,
you you didn't think about trying to stretch a double out of a triple
no,
against him, or vice
because
versa.
because because he would just embarrass you, right? I mean,
Oh
like
yeah,
just
yeah,
embarrass you.
yeah,
There's a classic play of him throwing Harold Reynolds out on a play
yes.
that's a timeless. I've seen that play over and over. So, shout out to Bo Jackson. Great memories for you and I watching him play both and coming out of Auburn and just I mean just think about this. They were swinging aluminum bats when he was at Auburn.
Could you
I,
imagine being a third baseman
I
with
have
Bo Jackson in the box,
I have
hitting a
zero interest
hitting a
in
line
doing that.
shot, buddy?
Yeah,
I'm going to go talk to the football manager and get a full set
yeah,
of pads if I'm
yeah.
playing third.
Well, hey, I'm making a business decision, and I am not.
Yes.
I don't care.
Fastest game of dodgeball ever played, right there, buddy.
Yeah. So yeah, and what take it one step further. I mean, and baseball guys will know this. Back in those days, they had what they call an Easton Black Magic. Was an aluminum bat. There was uh, those barrel sizes are they're too big now. They're illegal. And Bo was swinging bats that were equivalent to the Easton Black Magic back in the day. So I mean, he wasn't just swinging an aluminum bat. I mean, this thing was a club. So
Yes.
uh, no interest in playing third when
No.
Bo was around. So shout out to Bo Jackson for his contributions to sports and the memories that he gave us. Uh, going to throw something else at you. We're going to dig into this later,
Okay.
maybe as we go on through the semester. Um, run across something last couple of days that the Bleacher Report, and you're familiar with Bleacher
Yeah.
Report, and uh, if our viewers aren't, there's some good material out there on the Bleacher Report. Some of it you have to just take at face value, and some of it you can choose to accept or ignore. And hey, that's your choice.
Right.
We are neither condoning them or supporting them. They just put out some interesting material. Um, the latest thing I saw was the top 50 worst NBA trades. And this
Top
like
50 worst NBA
yeah,
trades. Okay.
yeah, and hey, they
Interesting.
it goes way back. I'm going to give you a little snippet of some, and I'm not going to go all the way to the top. We're going to just we're going to tease you a little bit, and but the number 40 on their list of 50 was the San Antonio Spurs traded Dennis Rodman to the Chicago Bulls in 1995. Now, I'm not sure what they got in return for Rodman, but I think that worked out pretty well for the Bulls, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Um, Number 27, the Timberwolves traded Kevin Garnett to the Celtics in 2007.
That one worked out pretty well itself,
Yeah, that one worked out well.
both
So,
resulting in World championships.
Yeah, yeah. So the list is fascinating. So
Yeah.
as we proceed with some shows down the road, we will sort of work our way to the top with a few of
Awesome.
these moments. So yeah, really good stuff. Um, I think where I'm going next is, and I don't know where I saw this list, but this was a list, and you and I didn't talk about this before the show, so just
Mhm.
throwing you to the wolves here.
You bet. No worries.
Top 10 most difficult positions to play in professional team sports. So I come across this list
Interesting.
of top 10 toughest positions to play in professional team sports. Um, I'm going to throw a few at you, and then I'm going to see
Okay.
if you can guess what they said. One of them was quarterback in the NFL.
Okay.
One of them was goalie in the NHL.
That would have been one of my guesses. Yeah.
One of them was point guard in the NBA.
Huh.
One of them was left guard or left tackle in the NFL.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. One of them was a catcher in Major League Baseball. Um, I don't have all 10 of them from memory, but those were the ones that was kind of that come to my head. Of those, or on your own accord, give me your top couple of toughest positions to play in professional team sports.
Oh gosh.
Hey, and for you and I, they're all hard. So,
They yeah, exactly.
oh,
I'm
another one was a closer, major league
oh man, I
closer.
was gonna say that. I was gonna say closer. Yeah, I really was. I was gonna say a closer, man, the pressure that guy must feel.
Yeah.
Um,
Hey, tough one, right? Tough question.
that is tough. That is tough. Goalie, I mean, goalie came to mind with hockey,
Yeah.
closer, quarterback, obviously. I'd say field goal kicker,
Oh,
possibly in football,
and
depending on the
was
situation.
not on that list, but
Interesting.
that's a good one.
Interesting. Huh.
That's a really good
Do any come to mind with you? I mean,
one.
just offhand?
You know,
The ones you mentioned are all obviously
yeah,
very good, you know,
yeah,
choices.
and I think, and of course, we could break it down and slice it different ways.
Sure.
I think obviously some of them are sort of like in the moment. Like a closer may not have to do it every day, right?
Right. Right.
A field goal kicker, maybe every 3 or 4 weeks they really have to
Sure.
kick an important one.
Yeah.
Probably, if we're just talking about day to day or week to week, game to game, uh, man, I think a major league catcher, the
Yes.
really good
Yeah.
ones, I think it's tough.
Yeah.
And hey, they're getting, you know, pitch calls radioed into them, and it's probably not as taxing as it once was, but just the wear and tear and
Oh yeah.
I mean, they just get beat up back there,
Some of the shots that those guys take off of foul balls and
Yeah,
I mean hitting them in spots to where there is no protection,
yeah.
you know. Uh
Yeah,
yeah, I just
it
cringe.
it'd take me years to recover. Like, I
Yeah,
mean, like,
I'd
yeah, I could
drop my equipment right there
just
behind
throw
home
it down.
plate. I'm out. I'm
Yeah,
out.
I mean, those guys, and I look back at those 70s, 80s catchers like Thurman Munson, Carlton Fisk, Johnny Bench. Those guys, that the equipment they wore was crap, right?
It
Like that.
was.
I don't know. I don't know where they made that. Like,
Chest protectors might as well should not have been on them.
I
I
mean,
mean,
some grandma somewhere sewed Johnny Bench's
right.
chest protector, right? Like,
Exactly.
I,
Exactly.
and they were wearing the
Let's sew a couple of quilts together. We'll throw it over and it'll deaden the blow a little bit.
and they were
Holy
wearing this
cow.
little flap that was supposed to
Right.
protect their. There's
And
no
it was
way, right?
inevitable. A ball was still going to get up there and hit
Yeah,
one of them in the Adam's apple.
I mean, how is that going to
Uh,
keep a
yeah.
90-mile-an-hour pitch from hitting you in the throat? Like,
Right.
what's going to
Yeah.
happen. So
No.
I think catcher for me is a tough one. Your field goal kicker one was really good. I mean, that's really tough, really,
Yeah.
really tough.
That would be tough to do. All
You know,
those, would be
yeah,
take a special person.
I think I've mentioned this on the air before. Fascinating story and cruel, just awful. A reliever in the '80s named Donnie Moore um, was in for a chance to save games, I think against the Red Sox or something like that. Gave up some winning runs. Long story short, his teammates spoke about like how much that affected him when he gave up the game-winning runs. And long story short, he took his own life
Oh my. Yeah.
down the road. And
Yeah.
his teammates, said, "Hey, he just could never come back from it. Just it just tore him
Right.
up." So,
Yeah.
I mean, just to sort of carry that weight, uh,
Bad deal.
bad
Yeah.
deal. So, viewers, if you haven't, like, if you've never read the Donnie Moore story, like, do a little research. Like, it's
Yeah.
just shows you the cruelty of professional sports a little bit. So, anyway, I found that list fascinating, and there's a lot of roles in sports that are really tough. So, um, I think we're going to go to our Hold'em and Fold'em sequence here. Um, I think I've just got two for you tonight.
Okay.
Okay. Viewers, if this is your first time with us, we close our show every week and I throw a scenario out. It's a sports scenario, usually involves professional sports, out to Coach Archer. And he has to decide whether he's going to hold the scenario or fold on the scenario. So we're going to start with Super Bowl. Um, Chiefs. I'm sorry, Chiefs. Whoops.
Hey,
Sorry, guys.
it's only
Sorry,
been
guys.
happening. It's
Whoops.
we're used to
Yeah,
it.
Chiefs Nation. Sorry, that was unintentional. Seattle favored
There
by
we go.
4.5 is the last we saw. We are a few days from the Super Bowl, so I think that could change by half a point or so, one way or the other. But 4.5 point favorites for the Seahawks right now. Are you holding Seattle and their 4.5 point favorite, or are you going to fold Seattle as a 4.5 point favorite?
I believe I'm going to hold.
Yeah,
Uh, I just like the way they're playing right now. Obviously, New England's playing well as well,
yeah.
but I just kind of like the mojo that Seattle has right now, and they're playing with a lot of confidence in all aspects of the game. So I'm taking Seattle in 4.5. About you?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. I'm a huge fan of what New England has done, and Drake May. Like, I love to watch him work. He's very cerebral, and he plays with emotion without his emotions playing him. And that's a great young quarterback trait to have. He's emotional and fiery in his own way, but he doesn't let it take over. So he is fun to watch. I do think they could be on the cusp of a 3 or 4 year run here where they're pretty hard to handle. Maybe not super. It's hard to get back to the Super Bowl year after year, but like I think they could be pretty good for a while here. And that division with Buffalo, and I mean that's going to be a war for a while here. I feel like so. I got the Seahawks as well at -4.5. Second and last, hold 'em and fold 'em. Okay. And this one's you may have to set aside your emotional attachment here. So we're gonna see how tough you are. I referenced the Cardinals and the Central Division earlier, and the Cubs and the Reds. Okay, Major League Baseball. So in the Major Leagues NL Central, you have the Brewers, which year after year lately they have just been really, really good. They do a really good job with talent. They trade the right pieces at the right time, and they get new talent in. General manager, front office, tremendous at doing that. They maintain a low payroll in terms of the overall major leagues, and they win with a payroll that's less than the people they contend with. They're perennial favorites in that division. And they're the best team in that division until somebody tells them they're not, by
Right.
the way they're playing. Cubs and Reds and Cardinals always seem to be fighting out for the Brewers, and the Brewers wins it. I do think that the Cubs and the Reds are trending upward. We'll see, but I think they're trending upward. Reds made a big signing a couple days ago that my son and I are fired up about. So Cubs are
Suarez.
yeah, Suarez.
Yeah, that's great move.
We are all
Great
about it.
move.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
I think that was a no-brainer.
1 year, $15 million.
Yeah,
That's a
that's on the
bargain in
cheap.
major. Yeah, that's a
That
major
is
league
on the
bargain, right?
cheap.
Hey, and
Yeah, it
that guy,
is.
he can hit 40 in Great American
In
Ballpark,
a Great
and
American Ballpark, he
you
sure
know,
can, and
and
that may be why he came back.
yeah,
He's banking on himself, looking for another big payday, and
yeah,
hey, sign that 1 year, hit a bunch of dingers, and
love it.
be
And
ready for a multi-year contract.
and he's going to be mostly DH, but he's a third baseman by trade, and I think he
Yeah,
can play a little first. And so, like, hey, he's a little versatile. I mean, he can play both corner positions.
absolutely.
He's a right hand DH, and against a real tough righty, he can take a day off. I mean, like,
Yes,
it's a perfect setup. So,
agreed.
anyway, way too much Cincinnati Reds news, but uh, Cubs as well, trending upward, making some moves and shaking and baking a little bit. So, uh, first of all, give me your real quick Cubs synopsis thus far.
Well, they picked up Alex Bregman, picked up oh gosh, name escapes me, Cabrera from Miami,
Yeah,
starter. So they've addressed two needs that they've had. I still think they need another starter and some bullpen depth, but um, in comparison to what say Milwaukee has done, Milwaukee has been pretty quiet this offseason, got rid of their ace and
yeah,
with Peralta, and then the Cardinals right now are having a fire sale,
yeah,
which honestly I hate to say good things about the Cardinals, but I'm going to say Chaim Bloom, Chaim Bloom is making the right moves,
yeah,
dumping some of that payroll off, and getting rid of that overhead, and start that rebuild. I think it won't be too many years down the road until St. Louis is going to be right back in the thick of things, not with just the division, but with the National League in whole. Uh, so that's my quick synopsis of the National League Central.
yeah,
Not
yeah.
that you asked for it, but um, yeah, I think that the Cards and the Cubs are sitting pretty good. Or, I'm sorry, the Reds and the Cubs are
Yeah,
sitting in pretty good spots right now from their off seasons.
yeah. So here's the hold 'em fold 'em question for you. Are you holding that both the Cubs and the Reds make the playoffs out of that division? Which in essence means that the Brewers don't make it. So I mean that's what we're saying here. So are you holding that the Cubs and the Reds can one of them wins a division and one of them wins a wild card in
Uh,
this season?
yeah, I'm holding.
Wow, love it.
Both of them made it last year as wild cards.
Right.
I think one of those two are going to win it this year, and I think the other one's not going to be but a game or two behind, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So I think those two make it from the National League Central. It's going to be interesting to see if and what the Brewers do from here on out.
Yeah.
They may be doing a slow turnover rebuild themselves, but they still have some young, good arms, and
Yeah.
they've got some kids that can put the ball in play, um, and score runs. And that's the scary part is that's the wild card. You never know what you're going to get with Milwaukee, and midway through the year, they're 5, 6, 7 games up in the division, and everybody else is chasing them the rest of the time. So
Right. Right.
it'll be fun. I can't wait.
Yeah.
What about
And
you?
um yeah, I think I'm going to hold the Cubs and the
Yeah,
Reds. I like them both.
yeah.
I like the Cubs better, and just I think they're a better team. I think they can do more things. I think the Reds probably, a bullpen arm maybe still would be nice, but I think every team says that at some point, probably
Right.
needing a bullpen arm, but they needed a right-handed power bat desperately, and they got that. So that
Yeah.
changed my outlook on them. Um, I do think the Cubs are the better team. I think the Cubs win the Central, um, and I like. I think they may be the second best team in the National League. Like
Well, that's what I was
that's
going to
my
ask you. I've got to hold them or fold them for you, and then I'll let you take us away. But hold them or fold them. Somebody besides the Los Angeles Dodgers wins the World Series. That's the field against the Dodgers.
and I'm just not seeing it. I'm just not seeing it. And gosh,
Buddy, I know.
and I want it.
Logic
Like I
logic
want,
says take the field, doesn't it?
and I'm not a Dodgers hater on like that. I'm not. That's not who I am normally. Like I'm not a
Right.
Dodgers hater.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I come out of an era where the Reds were always better than the Dodgers. So
Sure.
like I've kind of as a kid, like I wasn't scared of the Dodgers. I mean, they had a nice team and Steve Garvey and Dave Lopes and Ron
You
Say
betcha.
and
Yeah.
Tommy John. Like they had some guys, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But never was scared of them because the Reds would beat them.
Mhm.
But now I'm at this moment, I'm a little bit of a Dodgers hater because I mean, it's just a power play with their money
Sure.
and that's hard. And you and I have talked a million times about, hey, how does baseball fix this? And if they don't fix it, or major league viewership is up for the first time in a long
Yeah.
time. Like major league interest is up. Fan bases like are back to life. Like
Right.
it's as good as it's been in a while. Um, so I think this idea that the same team is going to win it or be at the top of the conversation every year, that may be a problem. Major league may have to figure out something to do that with it, and the players union may have to get on board with that. And I don't know what all that looks like, but um, back to your question, I think I fold. I think the
Yeah.
Dodgers are the best team. I think they win the NL, and I think they win the World Series.
Yeah.
I think the Blue Jays, what they did last year in the World Series was nothing short of a miracle. Like I would not, I would, I thought that series was a 4 or 5 game series, and the Dodgers won it going away.
Yeah.
So that may have been our best shot to dethrone the Dodgers was the Blue Jays effort from last year. So
I'm afraid the only thing that's going to stop the Dodgers in the future is a lockout,
yeah,
unfortunately.
yeah, and that may be what it takes, and to sort of address this disparaging gap between the
Right.
Dodgers and their spending and what the Reds are spending or what the Pirates are spending or the Indians or I mean fill in the blank Royals like
Yeah.
I mean all those teams are it's just not apples to apples. So it's a little bit like the NIL, I guess. It's
Yeah.
just
That's
in the
exactly
college
right.
realm.
Yeah.
So anyway, excited about baseball. Really, really excited. And you and I can talk that all day long. So
All day long. You bet.
I've got some family that lives in the Arizona area, and so they like they're in the Goodyear area. So spring training is kind of a thing out there in that area. So it's always a it's always hard for me to resist the urge to go to Arizona on spring break or something like that. So anyway, good show this week.
You
Good,
bet.
great content. We had some good, meaningful conversation. Super Bowl is going to be fun to watch, and every season that comes along, like the baseball one, there's just brings something new and fresh. I think for you and I to talk about. So uh, always good talking to you. Day job's going well. I'm supposing for you.
So far, so good.
Yeah.
How about yourself?
Yep. Going well.
Good.
It's kind of you and I talk about this kind of the basketball season in high school. Seems like about that third week of January, kind of the dog days of basketball,
Yeah.
and players and coaches alike sometimes flatten out a little bit. But then it seems like when first of February rolls around, kind of energy and excitement sort of picks back up, and
You bet.
I think we've gone through the downhill, and it seems new and fresh again in my world. Probably the same for you. People getting ready for
Yes.
districts, and they're finishing their conference schedule, and so
Right.
it's a great time to be a high school coach right now and be a
You bet.
basketball coach. So we are both lucky and privileged in that area, no doubt. So, well, viewers, that's it for this week. Thanks for joining us. Reach out. There's various ways to get a hold of us. We'd love to share your content or your thoughts or your stories. We love anything that we can do to sort of make this show a show that tells stories. So please reach out and do that. There's multiple ways on your screen where you can get a hold of us. So, Darren, thanks for joining me and talking sports this week.
Had a blast. Can't wait to do it again.
Yep, it was awesome. Without further ado, we will send you away for this week. Thanks for joining us, and enjoy the Super Bowl, and we'll see you next week.